Hello everyone. This video is going to be part 2 of mixed conditionals. The first one included an explanation of all the rules related to conditionals, especially the mixed conditionals. This video is going to give you a chance in order to answer some practice questions related to the same topic. So let's start with the first type of question. Okay, the first type is asking you to choose the correct meaning of each of the sentences below. Here we are simply going to rephrase or rewrite the sentences with F by removing F to show that we understand the meaning of the sentences. So we have here, if we had done a better job of protecting the leopard reserve, then it might still be here today. So what do we have here? We need to look very carefully at the tenses and in the sentence and then decide what to do if we remove if. So we have here had done. This is a past perfect tense, which means if we want to remove if, it needs to go back to what it was before, which was past simple. Okay. And here in the next part, we have a modal verb, might be, which is similar to would be, because it's might is like the past of may, and then we have be as an infinitive right after. So this is telling me, and especially that I have the word today, it's also telling me that this is going to be in the present. So what did the first one or the first part mean? It means that if I remove if, it should look like this. If we had done a better job, it means we actually did not do a better job. Usually the truth is, or the real situation is the opposite of the sentence with F. So here I have not, but in the original sentence, I don't, I'm negating it. I'm saying the opposite, right? So we did not do a better job of protecting the leopard reserve, then it might still be here today. Actually, the truth, it is not here today. So today is also another word showing me that I'm talking about the present. So which one is the correct meaning here? You can always pause the video in order to check or try to answer before me, but now I'm going to move forward. So the correct answer is A, because it's similar to what I wrote here. We did not protect it, so it is not here today, okay? The difference is that the second one, it says we protected it, which is not true, okay? Then the next one, same thing here. Had they met us 10 minutes earlier, then we could have better theater seats than we have now. Just a reminder, in the first video, I highlighted the fact that we can sometimes use the rule of inversion in order to remove the word if. So this sentence means if they had met us 10 minutes earlier. It's also possible to say it in this way, okay? And it's perfectly correct. But now we need to translate this or rephrase the sentence in order to like show them the correct meaning. So had they met us 10 minutes earlier, what tense is this? This is past perfect. I have had an auxiliary verb plus past participle, which means I'm talking about the past. And I also have the word earlier, which shows me this. I'm talking about the past. And in the next part, we could have better theater seats, okay, than we have now. Be careful with this one, because I have a modal verb, could. It's usually possible to use could, would, it's fine. But be careful with this have. If you remember in the first video, I talked about the difference between have as a helping verb and as a main verb. This one is not followed by another verb. I did not say could have had or could have got or could have received. It's only have with no other verb after that. So this means this one is the main verb, which means this tense is what is referring to the present, because I did not say could have another verb, could have done, could have received, okay? So this means the truth is they did not meet us, okay? If we're saying if they had met us, but they did not meet us, okay? Then we could have, it means we do not have now. Now, we do not have good seats. And as I said before, we have some clues here. This is earlier, it means in the past. and this one is now, which means I'm talking about the present. Of course, if you look at what I like my notes, this means that the correct answer is B. They didn't meet us 10 minutes earlier. They didn't. So we don't have good seats now. This is like a translation of the sentence without using any conditionals. Another one, same idea. I have to rephrase without if. If I was better at math, I might not have done so poorly on my exam. So what tenses do I have here? Let's look at this. Was, as you can see now, it looks like a past simple tense, and I have if. So this means that the reality is I'm talking about the present or the past. If you see past simple without had, I'm talking about the present. If you see had plus past participle, I'm talking about the past. Okay. Here on the other part, I have might not have done or could not have done or would not have done. Same, it's just a modal verb, and I have the verb have. Now it looks as an auxiliary, a helping verb, followed by another verb, which means I'm simply talking about the past, okay? So this means actually I'm not good at math. It's also possible here to say if I were better at math, it's okay. So the real situation is that I'm not good at math and I did poorly. So as I said before, usually the real situation is the opposite of the sentence with F. So here I have not, here I don't have not, okay? So which one is the closest, or which one is the correct meaning of the sentence? You can pause the video to check yourself, but now I will say the answer. Correct answer is B. I am not good at math, okay? So I did poorly on my exam. Fine, another sentence. If we, again, the same type of question, we need to rephrase and get the correct meaning. If we didn't think that you would be able to do the job well, then we would never have hired you. Look at our tenses. Didn't think, this is past simple, so it simply means we're talking about the present, right? Okay. And here, we would never have hired you. I have a modal verb, would, and I have as an auxiliary or a helping verb, and then it's followed by a past participle. So this means I'm talking about the past, a mixture between the present and the past, right? What did this mean? It says here we didn't think, so the truth is the opposite, which is that we think. Opposite and in the present, we think. And the next one, okay, it means, of course, it says here we never have hired you, so I need the opposite, which is that actually we hired you. Okay, so which one is the correct meaning of the sentence? Of course, it is A. We know, which is the same. I think we know that you would do a good job, so that is why we hired you. Okay. This is another type now. It's quite the opposite of the previous one. We need to choose the sentence with the meaning below. So now we have a regular sentence. We need to rewrite it or rephrasing using if. Again, always look at the tenses. This is how you would get the correct answer. James is always lazy. This is the real situation now. James is always lazy. He failed a test last week. Okay, so what do we have here is, this is present, okay? And we have the word always to always, like to show us also this is in the present. And he failed, this is a past idea. So, and last week also will confirm that this is a meaning in the past, okay? Now, if we need to use if, we need to always like go one step further in the past. If I mean the present, I will use past simple. If I mean the past, I will use past perfect. So is supposed to be if you were not. I will need the opposite. That's why I used not. And I will need it to be in the past simple like this, if you were not. And then the next part, again, the opposite, and I need to go one step further in the past. So you would not have failed. I use not to show the opposite because usually the opposite is true. And then I need have plus past participle to show that's in the past. So which one is the correct one here? A simple look at the three choices would show that B is the correct answer. If you weren't so lazy, I'm assuming now that I'm talking to James, if you weren't so lazy, you would have passed that test. Okay. The same type of question. I have a sentence without F. I need to rephrase it using an F. Look at the tenses. Okay. First thing, we have drove. Drove is the past of drive. Okay, so I have a meaning in the past now. I need to work on this. Okay, which means that if I use if, I need to go one step further in the past. So instead of using past simple like this one, I will use past perfect, had plus past participle. If he had not driven, and of course I need to show the opposite, okay, of the real situation. That's why I used not. And here I have now, which is a clue that I'm using or I'm referring to the present. He is in trouble, present. I need to rephrase that to go one step further in the past. So it's going to look like this. He would not be in trouble. I need the opposite, which is, that's why I use not. And I need it to be in the past. So that's why I'm using would instead of will and then be. Okay. So if you look at the three choices, the one that has exactly the same meaning is A. If Paul hadn't driven too fast, had not driven too fast, he wouldn't be in trouble. He would not be in trouble. Okay. If you look at the other choices, you can see this one is didn't drive, which is not correct because it will look exactly like this one. Past simple, past simple. We actually need to go one step further. So past perfect. And this one, it's just a small mistake here, but it's still a mistake. If Paul hadn't drive, you cannot say hadn't driven. Okay, so the correct one is A. Let's go to the next one. Again, the same idea. Okay, we need to find the sentence with the same meaning, rephrase it, and use F. I don't have a degree. If I say I don't have a degree, it means I'm talking about now, because you can see that you have present simple tense now. I don't have a degree. Okay. Again, what type of have is this? Is this a helping verb or a main verb? Usually ask yourself, do I have another verb after it? No, I don't. So have here is a main verb. It simply means I own something. I don't have a degree. Okay, so if I want to rephrase this, I need, okay, to have the opposite. Now here I have I don't, so the opposite will not be a negative form, okay? And I need the past of this. So if I had, if I don't, if I had a degree, لو عندي درجة علمية, so I didn't get the job, what will happen here? I have something in the past already. In the regular sentence, it's in the past. You can see it in the past. So I need to go one step further in the past. So it will be like this. I would have got. I remove the negative form, and then I need would plus have as a helping verb and past participle. إذا عندي درجة علمية كان حصلت على الوظيفة. So it means I don't have the degree, and of course I did not get the job. Which one is the correct meaning here? It's C. If I had a degree, I would have got that job. Okay, but actually I didn't. Another one, same idea. You didn't fix the roof, now it's leaking. Okay, look at the tenses again. You didn't is a past simple tense. And if I need to use if, I need to go one step further in the past. So it needs to be past perfect, had plus past participle. Okay, so you would say if you had fixed, but the truth is you didn't fix it. Okay, now, which means I'm talking about the present, and you can see the verb again is in the present. So if I need to talk about the present, and of course in the other part, I cannot have like the same sentence as this. I need a modal verb, of course. I need like would or will or something like that. Now, given the fact that I'm talking about the present, it needs to look like this. It would not be leaking, okay? It would not be leaking. So the correct answer is, which looks exactly like the notes. If you had fixed the roof, it wouldn't be leaking, okay? Let's see another one. Now, this is another type of question. Which sentence is correct? We need to look at all the choices and decide if they make sense, okay? So if you look at the first one, if you had remembered to bring the map, you have a map, you have to think about the tenses and understand. Had remembered to bring a map. This is past or present. We need to think about this. Is this past or present? We're talking about past now because it's had plus past participle. We wouldn't be lost now. It means actually right now we are lost, right? Because I'm talking about the present. The next one, if you remembered to bring a map, okay? Kind of like difficult because here it means you're talking about the present, which is not possible in this situation. And then the other part, we wouldn't be lost now, which is fine. If you had remembered to bring a map, which is similar to A, we wouldn't have been lost now. How can I say wouldn't have been, which is past, and I have the word now? You see? So let's look at the clues again. If I say had remembered, it means you did not remember in the past. If I say wouldn't be lost now, I'm talking about now. We are actually lost now. Okay, so, and this one, remembered, it means you do not remember, which does not make sense here. And this one means we are lost now, which is, yeah, it's correct. It makes sense, right? The last one, if you had remembered in the past, which makes sense. Okay, you did not remember in the past. And then this one wouldn't have been lost now. This is totally wrong, because if you think about the word now, it doesn't make any sense. We were lost and we're talking about the past, so we can't have the word now. So of course the correct answer is A, the only one that makes sense here. Okay, another question, choose the correct answer. Now you have to choose like a completion of the sentence. You have to read the whole sentence, understand the whole situation, understand the tenses, understand if we're talking about the present or the past, mixing between both, and then decide. So if you, a map, if you had taken or you would have taken or took a map, as I told you, we wouldn't be lost now. Now this one is not even possible because we already have wouldn't. Okay, and I need something that does not include a modal verb here in this part. So if you now, okay, and this one of course is referring to the present, right? Okay, so the correct answer is if you had taken a map. I don't have a clue here about like when, but you can guess it from the meaning of the sentence. If you had taken a map in the past, okay, as I told you will also like show you that I'm talking about the past. We wouldn't be lost now in the present. Okay, next one. If I had more time, I would have called you last night, or called you last night, or would call last night. Be careful with this had, as I said before. This is not an auxiliary. This is not a helping verb. It's a main verb, which is like any other verb. It gives you the main meaning of the verb, which means own or get. Okay, so if I had more time, and look at this one, I have last night, which means I'm talking about the past, right? So what do I need to have here? I would have called you last night. Okay, which means I didn't have, or I don't have more time. So because of that, last night I did not call you. Usually I don't have more time. So last night I did not call you because of that. لو كان عندي وقت أو لو عندي وقت كان اتصلت بيك last night. Okay, now again choose the correct answer. If you would have accepted that job, or would accept that job, or had accepted that that job, you would be miserable now. Okay, look at the tenses, understand the whole situation, and then decide. So be careful that I have here the word now. I'm talking about the present in this part. Would be miserable now means you are not miserable now, which means if you had accepted that job, it means you did not accept actually. If you had accepted that job, لو كنت قبلت الوظيفة in the past, you would be suffering right now and you would be miserable now. It makes sense. Next one. I'm afraid of flying. Okay, this is the truth now. Okay, if, I know it's kind of like a rephrase now. We need to rephrase it with if. If I afraid of flying, we would have traveled by plane. So if I want to rephrase this now, okay, what would I say? Which one is the correct one? Now I have I am, it's in the present. So I need, in order to use if, I need to go one step further in the past. Instead of using the present simple, I would use past simple, right? Okay, which means if I wasn't or if I weren't, both are correct. So the correct one is if I wasn't afraid of flying. لو إني مش بخاف من الطيران, we would have traveled by plane. كان زماننا سافرنا بالطيارة in the past. The next one is in the past. So it means I'm usually afraid of flying all the time. This is my nature, and it's a present simple tense. I mean, the meaning is in the present, but actually something happened in the past because of that, which is that we decided not to travel by plane, right? Another one, if you had taken dad's car without permission, you might be in trouble. Or if you took dad's permission, took dad's car without permission, you might be in trouble. Or if you would have taken dad's car without permission, you might be in trouble. Okay, notice that we have the modal verb here. So here I cannot have another modal verb. I cannot like use would. Okay, so the correct choice is had taken. If you had taken dad's car in the past without permission, you might be in trouble now in the present. Another one, you wouldn't have this job if I didn't prepare you or hadn't prepared you or wouldn't have prepared you for the interview. Now, of course, as I said, you have wouldn't in this part, so you cannot have another wouldn't in the other part. Okay, and you need to think of the situation. Is it in the past or in the present? You wouldn't have this job. Okay, be careful with this one. This is not an auxiliary. It's not a helping verb. Have means own or get or receive, and it's not followed by another verb, right? Okay, but I'm talking about the preparation for the interview, which apparently was in the past. So if I hadn't prepared you, ما كنت تحصل على الوظيفة الحين, now, if I had not prepared you in the past for the interview. So what happened first? I prepared you for the interview, and then now you have the job. Okay. Another one, he says he's your friend. He is your friend, but he didn't help you. If he were your friend, he. Now look at this one. He did help you. I have a sentence in the past. Like you can see, I'm talking about the past now. And if I need, as I said before, you need to go one step further in the past. So it needs to look like a past perfect, right? Okay. Or at least you need to have like have plus past participle, right? So he would have helped you. Okay. هو بيقول إن هو صديقك now. Okay. But he didn't help you. بس ما ساعدك. If he were your friend, لو هو صديقك, where here means I'm talking about now. كان ساعدك. Okay. He would have helped you in the past. Now another one. I feel fine because I took the medicine. If the medicine, I would still be in pain. You have to think again of the tenses. Okay. I feel fine now, right? Because I took the medicine in the past. Okay. So you need to go one step further in order to use an F sentence here. If I the medicine, okay, I would still be in pain. يعني لو ما أخذت الدواء in the past كان زماني الحين بتألم now. Okay, so this means that this one, of course, is certainly in the past, right? Okay, took is in the past. In order to use F, I need to go one step further. So past participle, had plus past participle. So if I had not taken the medicine, if I had not taken the medicine, لو ما أخذت الدواء كان زماني بتألم الحين. Okay, something I did in the past and the result is now. Another one, I didn't know that you were there because I'm not psychic. I would know or had known or would have known that you were there if I was a psychic. So look at the tenses again. I didn't know means I mean the past because I have a past simple tense. I need to go one step further. Okay. So, and of course I need the modal verb here. I would have known. كنت هعرف in the past. Okay. So I would have known you were there. كنت هعرف. Okay. Now this is like a simple homework, and feel free actually to write anything in the comments. I will be more than happy to respond. I would like you to show that you understand the use of mixed conditional sentences. I would like you to use those prompts that you can see right now in order to think of statements using your own ideas. Okay, of course, the sentences do not have to be true. It's just like I want you to use some examples to show your understanding. So something like this, write a sentence like this. If I had known something, I would do something, for example, just to show like we are mixing between the past and the present, or the opposite. If I had known something, I wouldn't do something. Or if I knew, it means I know now, like you see. So be careful of the meanings and feel free to ask me any questions if this is not clear. Okay, so let me wait for you to write your sentences in the comments section, and I will be more than happy to correct or respond to any questions. Thank you so much.